Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sergeant Scott, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to replace the Blu-ray drive in the Xbox One Gen 1. Now then, I already have this Xbox One opened up and torn down and plugged into power so that I can demonstrate to you what it is doing.
I forgot to grab a movie.
Anyway, okay, so to demonstrate what it's doing, as I described in the earlier video, we're going to go ahead and turn it on, and something that I found out is that when you take it apart like this, you actually have to have each and every single last piece plugged into it. Otherwise, it's going to keep doing its system check until it finds everything. Kind of annoying. Yeah. Anyway, what you gonna do? So here we go. I'm gonna go grab my remote and we're gonna turn it on. Love this thing. It's great. I already have my soldering iron set up, trying not to topple it. Okay, so as you can hear, this one's also been 12 volt fan mounted. This Xbox I am actually getting paid for. It's a first, actually, getting paid to do this kind of work. So here we go. Alright, now then. I just realized I didn't plug it into a television to actually show you this. But what it's actually not doing right now is it's not spinning the disc, so we need to get it to eject. And what I was talking about before, to actually get it to actually take in the disc and recognize it and then want to spin, is you have to listen for those 4 quick rat-a-tat-tats. And there it is. Now it's properly seated and it's actually recognizing and spinning the disc. You know what? You know what? It's too late at night for me to fix my fuck up, so screw it. I'm just gonna roll with it. That's how I roll. I've got too much going on. Alright, so when you take the Blu-ray drive out of the Xbox One, if you've seen me unplug an Xbox 360's DVD drive, then you'll know how to unplug this. It's exactly the same. Now then, differences. It is physically smaller. Additionally, it has this lovely little plastic thing on the back here. First, what we're going to do is we're going to unplug these cables from the back of it and set them aside. Like so. Next, up top, plastic things. Just going to pull apart gently so you don't break them, because that is the thing that is keeping it stable inside. They will pop down almost automatically, and there it is. Set that aside too. Now then, this is the new drive, this is the old drive. As you can see, I'm going to have to be transplanting a few things. Namely, the anti-static strips. That's not going to be fun. So, to start, we're just going to go ahead and remove the anti-static strips. We do that just by pulling them straight off, because they just come right off. Just like so. And lucky for me, they're still sticky. So we're going to go ahead and set those in sequence off to the side. I have no idea what that sound was just now. It was frightening and alarming. Now then, question. Can we simply transfer the mechanical parts from the new drive into the old drive? No, we cannot. VG-6M1S. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually not entirely certain that the guy who's paying me to do this for him, I'm not entirely certain that he got me the right drive. But we're gonna have to find out one way or another. I'm gonna try and do this as gently as possible. Goddamn self-destructing stickers. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to save these stickers on the sides, which are the seals, that tell Amazon or any other tech that takes this drive whether or not this drive has been opened. What we're going to do right now is simply open them up, both of them, and then we're going to compare the brain boards on the inside. And it should be fine. If all goes to plan, then I will be taking the circuit board, the brain board, the drive control board, all of those are the same thing, taking it out of this drive, which is the old drive, and putting it into here, which is the new drive. And the brain circuit board from the new drive is just simply going to get chucked in the trash with the old drive, unless I choose to harvest the laser out of the old drive and make a very expensive, very fancy, very fun, slightly destructive toy. Alright, now then. Voila. Looks about the same so far. Looks about the same as what I remember. Now, the reason why we have to swap these brain boards again is because there is a registry code stored inside of this brain board which marries it to the motherboard, the system that it originally came out of. Now then, can you copy that code off of this drive and put it into this board? Yes, you can. However, the hardware for doing that costs upwards of $75. In other words, $75 is the lowest that you're going to be paying for that on top of a new drive. If you ask me, that's a bit much to pay, so I'd rather just do a little bit of extra legwork. Alright, side by side. Lo and behold, and what do we see? We see that these are pretty well identical. In fact, on the inside here, all the major bits and pieces are indeed identical. Okay, so what are we going to have to do first off? Well, first off, we are going to have to take the brain board out of this one. To do that, it's a very simple operation. Go ahead and bring you in here and show you. You're going to disconnect each and every single one of these ribbon cables that you see. Okay? Now down here you've got these two power cords for the drive motor, which look like they're just hard soldered, so we're going to have to desolder those. So what we do is we start up at the top, With this one, we're just going to come in here, come in and under, nice and gentle like, and press our finger down here because that seems to be flimsy, and flip it up. Pull it right out like that. Same here. Flip it up. Hook it back behind it carefully and pull. There it is. And then the big one here, flip up gently as you can. Probably better if you use your fingernail or a spudger. And pull that out, gentle as you please, and it comes right out. Now then, the next thing we need to do is get these screws off. These are common Phillips head screws. 1, 2, 3. Let's jam. Ba-da, 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 ba-da-da. Yes, that was a Cowboy Bebop reference. Yes, I am a huge nerd. Yes, I am comfortable with that. I am enlightened. Otherwise I wouldn't be doing this. Because this can be very, very, very frustrating work. And thank God that this ribbon cable right here was not connected back here somewhere. That would be terribly unfortunate if it had been. Alright, now then, can we pull out this motor without being too obtuse? Because I really don't want to have to solder or desolder. I am prepared for it. I have my equipment for soldering set up, but I really just, I don't like having to do it. I don't. Again, seeing as how the drive modules are part of what's problematic in this one, probably don't want to go ahead and keep any part of the drive module whatsoever. So what we're going to do now, close this back up like so, set it aside so that we can get to soldering. What I'm going to show you in this video also is how to desolder things. Desoldering is a very tricky, sometimes very difficult thing to get right. And my soldering iron is really, really hot. Almost burning my fingers right through the heat shields. Okay, so I'm going to get my desoldering plunger here. That's this guy. Uses air and suction to remove the solder once it has been placed into a liquid state. So here we go. To desolder, you it just popped right off. Brilliant. There that is. Get released easy as you please. That is a best case scenario. That is fantastic and wonderful. Thank you and good night. Just kidding, stick around. We're not done yet. Now then, something wonderful about these ports is that right down here on the drive module, you will see that it has B and R. That means black and red. That means that is the color of the wire that you solder to that spot. Now, on previous drives in the Xbox 360, that did not exist. So, that was a bit of a problem when I had to replace drives. Because, yeah, look at me now. I'm just going at it willy-nilly with my fingernails. But anyway, it should probably be nicer this one because this is the one that we're keeping. But anyway, it was a problem because none of them were actually labeled on the 360 drives. None of them. Like, nothing was labeled. It was guesswork all the way. I saw dust. That's why I did that. Okay, now let's go ahead and desolder these. tuck them off to one side, undo these screws. And we'll also be plugging this in and testing it out on the television like I did with the previous video where I displayed my Xbox One. So that's out with the new board and in with the old. Sounds kind of weird, don't it? Sorry, just checking the condition of a couple of the switches. Okay, getting things back in place. Can be tricky. We'll just go ahead and take these cables, plug them back in, flip the thing back down, and set it back in place. Make sure you tuck it underneath this plastic piece. Yeah, for those of you who are doing this, you may encounter this, you may not. There it is. Right here. This little plastic piece that goes over the board. If you just set the board straight, just straight down in there, this is going to be underneath your board, and that's going to cause it to bend up, and it will cause problems closing the drive back up. So be wary of that. I just now found that. Let me take the next cable. Gently get it back into its spot. Make sure it's straight in there and then flip down. Let me take this last cable. Which is a little bit more tricky. Get it into its spot, and then we flip down. Boom. Pretty as a picture. Everything's locked in place. Now then, the truly tricky part about this is I may need tweezers. I'm not looking forward to that. Cats, you settle down. I heard hissing over there. Where'd that fourth screw go? Oh yeah, I'm losing my mind. I thought I'd pulled out one too many screws. Or, one too few screws. I'm using the screws from the old drive because they are in a somewhat prettier condition. It's kind of Russian roulette when you buy these parts from the internet. Sometimes you might get something that looks good, sometimes you might not. You're really not going to know until it gets to you. I know, that sounds pretty terrible, but it's the world we live in. It's what we have to deal with. Especially in the repair world. Alright, now then. Resoldering these is no easy task. Yes, I was an idiot and had the soldering iron in my hand as I was handling things in front of the camera. I beseech you, please do not be as dumb as I was just now. That was an idiot move, a completely idiot move. There's a can of compressed air there behind it. I could have had an absolute disaster. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, safety, safety. What I just did was not safe. Do not repeat my mistakes. Okay, so here we go. Try and get this in frame for you. Am I in frame? Okay, good, I'm in frame. Melt the solder, place the wire, remove the soldering iron. Soldering holds. And then we tuck the wire carefully and gently as best we can. And we come in with the secondary wire. Second verse, same as the first. Melt the solder, place the wire, remove the soldering iron. Nikes, I just screwed up. Nothing goes perfect. Alright, there it is. Beautiful. Got black to black, red to red. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the best and quickest solder job I have ever done, and you just witnessed it live. Live, in quotation marks. You just witnessed it first. Here, on YouTube. History in the making. A brilliant man. Not failing. Okay, so here we go. It's going to go ahead and take the old case portion and close up so that we can continue with this repair job for this guy who, out of the blue on Craigslist, went ahead and had faith in me, answered my ad, and said, "Yes, please, Sergeant Scott, fix my Xbox One. It is ailing." And I said, "Okay." Alright, here we go. And you can't see anything because I don't have things actually... Wow, I feel stupid. That was my phone going off. I'm probably going to a pre-deployment ceremony for other people in a different company. And I'm doing it because I'm being a lazy ass and trying to get out of doing PT tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's right. Sergeant's old and lazy. Deal with it. Okay. And then we place our grounding strip. Place our grounding strip carefully. It's got sticky on the underside, which is going to hold it in place. Alright, let's get rid of that. And let's unplug the soldering iron, because I don't need to have that on anymore. I had that backwards. I'll try and get this right. Alright, that's lining up better now. Sorry, I had my grounding strip on the bottom here in a bad position. Just back that out. There we go. Backed all the way out now. This last grounding strip on here. Things that way. These grounding strips are a metal mesh around a carbon foam with a carbon sticky glue. There it is. Alright, let's test this baby out. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here. I'm going to close the Xbox 360 back up. Let me correct myself. I'm going to show you how to reseat the Blu-ray drive. Here is its carrier. There is a stalk right there. There is a pinhole right there. stalk and pinhole go together, because that keeps your alignment of your parts. Next is SATA data. Plugs in here, like so. Next is power. Goes right here. Oh, I had that oriented right the first time. Okay. And pay attention to your teeth. And plug that right in. There that is. Here's the Xbox proper. And what we do, SATA data, drive power, everything's plugged in, and we gently seat it into place. Now, this carrier has a couple of plastic stalks on it to make sure that it is aligned properly. And it is aligned properly, there's no wiggle, we're good. Alright, now I'm going to power the camera off, and I'm going to close up the system. You already saw me close a system in the previous video, how to perform a 12-volt fan mod on the Xbox One, and so I'm just going to go ahead and do this off camera and save everybody time. Here we go. You know, when you're putting your Xbox One back together, make sure that you plug all the right wires back into the right places, because oh god, yeah, I just forgot to do that. So I am now placing the top on this thing for a second time after thinking for the past hour that I had somehow broken this guy's Xbox, which would have been a very bad day for me. Very bad day. Very bad day. Alright. About to close up. Be right back when we're facing the television. I just wanted to get that little public service announcement out there. Be right back. Okay, and we are back. Now then, we're going to go ahead and boot up the console. Using its own controller. It's now doing a systems check, and it is now booting up. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the volume there. Alright, now then, before we were having an issue of it not seeing and recognizing discs. So now, put a disc in, Blu-ray edition of Spaceballs. Goes in smooth. And it seems to be working. Seems to be talking. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. We have function. Oh, come on. Skip. Skip. And there it is. Skip. Seems to work so far. Now let's test out a game. Now, earlier in the week, when he first dropped this off and I first got his old drive to actually talk to a game and actually read a disc, I went ahead and installed this right here, the new Deus Ex game. So, we're just going to use this to make sure that it will still play games, because we did just install a new Blu-ray drive. But, the thing is, we installed a new Blu-ray drive that has the old Blu-ray brain board, and you know what? It works. On the old Xbox 360s, what you would end up getting if you had not performed what we just did, it would boot up and it would play movies, but it would never play games ever again. That's why we swap the brain boards. I assumed that on the Xbox One the same thing would be true, or maybe it wouldn't play games from disc anymore, or even movies from disc anymore. It would just say, nope, you gave me an entirely different thing, so eat it. You don't get to have fun anymore unless you buy them off the digital store, and even then the console might actually be banned. So, as you can see here, it's working. We are good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Ouroboros01, also known as Sergeant Scott, and we have just had a complete success. This is the very first time that I have installed a new Blu-ray drive into an Xbox One, and like the original 12-volt fan mod on an Xbox One of a similar model to that one, we had a first-time go complete success. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to have done this for you tonight. Have a wonderful evening, and happy modding and happy repairing. Good night.